Hello, my name is Jane Otenyo, and I am a maternal and child health student. I did my internship with the Growing Girls program. Growing Girls was adapted from the Go Girls program created by LaCroix and Daly. The lessons were designed by Dr. Nuno, who is a professor at U of A. Growing Girls has been taught for over 5 years with more than 10 different graduate and undergraduate students. This year, our internship site was at Estes Elementary School in Marina, Arizona. The program was led by me and another MPH student, and we met for 2 hours a week during an after-school program. We even did a field trip here to the U of A campus. Why is a program like Growing Girls important? Well, we know from studies that the transition from adulthood can be a complex time for early adolescents. Growing Girls teaches the skills needed for healthy development. The internship goals were to implement psychosocial intervention for early adolescent girls, to revamp curriculum to reflect current literature, and to evaluate outcomes of the program. In addition to those goals, my internship project focused on family relationships. I wanted to know if participants had any exposures to violence outside of school, and if they were exposed to violence, how it influenced relational aggression at school. I also wanted to know if the program activities were effective at building girls' self-esteem, increase their assertiveness skills, and effectively teaching them social skills so they know how to advocate for themselves, especially in incidents of bullying at school. I'm interested in studying exposure to violence because studies show that youth who bully others are more likely to have witnessed intimate partner violence than those who do not bully others. The other side to this is that survivors of one form of violence are more likely to be victims of other forms of violence. So 13 girls aged 10 to 12 were originally recruited for the program. Group leaders taught 22 lessons, and we also administered a series of surveys. The surveys had a variety of skills, but my project focused mainly on self-esteem, assertiveness, family relations, and overt and relational victimization. Our lesson covered topics that are essential for healthy adolescent development. In my project, I closely evaluated the bullying lesson. In this lesson, the girls identified forms of bullying that they experienced or witnessed among their peers. The girls self-identified gossip, isolating a friend from the group, and online bullying as a common form of bullying at their school. In this lesson, we worked with the girls to develop strategies to address bullying. So one of the activities that we did was making kind cards. In this activity, the girls made cards with kind messages about each other. And this activity encouraged importance of kindness and standing up for themselves and each other when they witness bullying at school. The long-term prevention strategy for an activity like this is to identify bullying behavior and teach girls to be assertive and stand up for each other and for themselves. It also teaches the girls to report bullying if they see it. My results are based on the 3 different surveys I administered throughout the program. The Wilcoxon signed rank test was used to evaluate changes because we were comparing matched pairs, and the population could not be assumed to be normally distributed. We asked open-ended questions specifically designed for asking children about domestic violence exposure. We got some problematic responses, and thus I compared them to quantitative domestic violence scores to see if there was a pattern. But when comparing the girls' quantitative domestic violence scores and their qualitative domestic violence scores, there wasn't any indication that abnormal or threatening behavior was happening. What we saw was that most of the girls who had problematic free response questions had low quantitative domestic violence scores. Also, comparing the surveys, you can see that mean scores from the mid-semester survey to the end of the year surveys actually decreased. An appropriate next step would be to follow up with the students who had problematic responses, since I can't say definitively if they were exposed to violence based on the results. We also asked questions about the girls' experience with overt victimization at school, and we saw low scores overall, which is a positive result. And we even saw an overall decrease in the mean scores. Similarly, we also asked questions about the girls' experience with relational victimization at school, and we saw low scores overall as well. And again, we saw overall decreases in the mean scores. Overall, follow-up questioning should be conducted with this population due to the limitations associated with evaluating a small sample size. Although this data is not generalizable, the group leader saw a transformation in the girls throughout the program. The girls showed more confidence in themselves and how they interacted with the lessons and the activities. The girls' parents even mentioned that they noticed positive changes in their daughters in parent surveys. Growing Girls proved to effectively help girls form their own sense of empowerment. It created a supportive environment and taught self-advocacy skills that prepared girls to seek out community resources if they witnessed or experienced bullying. Based on positive changes observed in the girls and the survey scores, it can be argued that there is a necessity for psychosocial early adolescent intervention programs. Moving forward, this program should consider expanding to school districts beyond Marana, Arizona. Thank you for listening to me today, and a special thank you to Dr. Nuno, Dr. Oren, Colleen Frederick, and the Western Region Public Health Training Center. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me using the email provided.